Captain Maya Torres knelt beside her daughter's bed in the quiet darkness of their home, brushing a strand of hair from the child's forehead. 7-year-old Sophia clutched her stuffed rabbit tightly, her eyes glistening with tears she was trying hard not to shed. "You promise you'll come back, Mama?" the little girl whispered, her voice trembling. Maya kissed her daughter's cheek and pulled the promise ring from her own finger, the one Sophia's grandmother had given her years ago. She placed it carefully in Sophia's small palm. "I promise, baby. Keep this safe for me until I get home. 3 weeks, maybe 4 at most. Then we'll have that birthday party we planned, okay?" Sophia nodded, squeezing the ring so tightly her knuckles turned white. Maya held her close one last time before walking out into the pre-dawn darkness, her deployment bag heavy on her shoulder. "Before we begin, tell us in the comments where in the world you're watching from." The convoy rolled through the desert at 4:37 a.m. A line of armored vehicles cutting through the endless sand under a sky beginning to blush with dawn. Maya sat in the lead vehicle, her jaw set with determination, her mind still back home with Sophia. Sergeant Chen sat across from her, checking his equipment with practiced efficiency. "You good, Captain?" he asked, noticing the distant look in her eyes. Maya nodded sharply, pushing thoughts of home into a locked corner of her mind. "Always, Chen. Let's focus on getting everyone home safe." The mission was supposed to be straightforward. Deliver medical supplies to a remote outpost, assess the situation, and return to base. Intelligence had reported the route clear, minimal threat assessment. But Maya had learned in her 12 years of service that the desert kept its own secrets. The explosion came without warning at 6:43 a.m., a thunderous roar that lifted the third vehicle in their convoy off the ground. Maya's truck swerved violently as their driver fought for control, and suddenly the radio erupted with voices shouting over each other. "Ambush! We've got hostiles on the ridge!" The quiet morning transformed into chaos. Maya's training took over instantly, her voice cutting through the panic with clear, steady commands. "Chen, get our wounded to cover behind those rocks. Martinez, return fire on that position. We hold this ground until air support arrives." She grabbed her rifle and kicked open the door, her boots hitting sand as bullets kicked up dust around her. The world narrowed to the present moment, to keeping her team alive, to making decisions that would mean the difference between going home or not. They fought for what felt like hours, but was only 37 minutes by Maya's watch. The enemy had chosen their position well, high ground with clear sight lines, and Maya's team was pinned down with limited cover. Private Okafor had taken shrapnel to his leg, and Corporal Rodriguez was doing her best to stop the bleeding while staying low. Maya assessed their situation with the cold calculation of experience. They were outgunned and exposed, but giving up wasn't in her vocabulary. "Chen," she called over the gunfire, "I need you to take command. I'm going to flank around that eastern ridge, draw their fire, give you time to call in our exact coordinates for the airstrike." Chen's eyes went wide. "Captain, that's suicide. You'll be completely exposed." Maya met his gaze steadily. "It's the only way we all get out of here. Sophia's waiting for me, and I intend to keep my promise." The decision was made before Chen could argue further. Maya moved like a shadow, using every dip and rise in the terrain, every rock and abandoned structure as cover. Her heart pounded not with fear, but with fierce determination. She thought of Sophia's face, of the promise ring now in her daughter's possession, of the birthday cake they'd planned to bake together. Those thoughts fueled every step, every breath. She reached a position where she could see the enemy's flank, exposed and vulnerable if she acted quickly. But as she raised her weapon, something unexpected happened. A second group of hostiles appeared from a hidden cave system, moving to surround her team from behind. They had walked into a carefully laid trap, and now her people would be caught in a deadly crossfire. Maya's mind raced through options in seconds. She could warn her team, but then she'd lose the element of surprise. She could take out the new threat, but then the original position would slaughter her exposed team. In that crystallized moment of decision, she saw a third option, dangerous and improbable, but possible. An old ammunition depot sat between the two enemy positions, abandoned but likely still holding ordnance. If she could reach it, if she could detonate it, the blast would eliminate both threats but would leave her dangerously close to the explosion. She didn't hesitate. Chen, when you hear the fireworks, move everyone out fast. Heading 270. Don't wait for me. That's an order. Before he could respond, she was running. The next 2 minutes and 43 seconds felt like a lifetime. Maya sprinted across open ground, bullets snapping past her head, her lungs burning with exertion. She crashed through the depot's rotted door and found exactly what she'd hoped for: crates of old munitions covered in desert dust. She set her charges with shaking hands, her demolitions training coming back automatically. 30 seconds on the timer. That would give her just enough time to get clear if she ran faster than she'd ever run before. She hit the activation button and burst back through the door, her legs pumping, her entire focus on the rocky outcropping 70 meters away that might provide enough shelter. 20 seconds, 15, 10. The explosion erupted behind her like the anger of gods, a massive percussion wave that picked her up and threw her forward. She hit the ground hard, rolling, her ears ringing, dust and debris raining down around her. For a long moment, she couldn't hear anything, couldn't see through the thick cloud of sand and smoke. Then Chen's voice crackled through her earpiece, distant and tinny. "Captain! Captain Torres, respond!" She coughed, tasting copper and grit, and keyed her radio. "Still here, Chen. Tell me everyone made it." There was a pause that felt eternal. "Everyone's accounted for, Captain." "You crazy brilliant officer? Medevac is 3 minutes out." Maya let her head fall back against the sand, staring up at the sky that was now bright with morning sun. Sophia's face filled her mind, and she smiled despite the pain radiating through her body. The helicopter ride back to base was a blur of medical attention and exhausted relief. Maya had a concussion, 3 cracked ribs, and various cuts and bruises, but she was alive. They were all alive. In the field hospital, as a doctor stitched a gash on her forehead, Chen appeared at her bedside. "You know the brass is going to have words about that stunt you pulled," he said, but his eyes were wet with emotion. "You saved all our lives, Captain." Maya managed a weak smile. "Just keeping a promise to my daughter, Chen. Nothing fancy." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a satellite phone. "Base cleared you for a 5-minute call home. Figured you might want to tell Sophia you're okay." Maya took the phone with trembling hands. The phone rang 3 times before Sophia's voice, small and worried, came through. "Hello?" Just hearing her daughter nearly broke Maya's composure. "Hey, baby. It's Mama." There was a gasp. Then Sophia was crying and talking all at once. "Mama, Mama, I've been holding your ring every single day. Are you coming home? Are you okay?" Maya closed her eyes, tears sliding down her cheeks, mixing with dust and blood. "I'm coming home, sweetheart. It might be a few more weeks, but I'm keeping my promise." "I'm always going to keep my promise." Sophia's grandmother took the phone then, her voice thick with emotion. "We heard there was an incident. Maya, are you really all right?" Maya thought about the explosion, the close call, the moment when everything could have gone wrong. "I'm alive, Mama Rosa. That's what matters. Take care of Sophia for me. Tell her I love her every day." 17 days later, Maya walked through her front door at 7:45 p.m. on a warm evening. Sophia came running, the promise ring clutched in her hand, and threw herself into her mother's arms. Maya held her daughter tight, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo, feeling the solid reality of being home. "You came back," Sophia whispered against her shoulder. "You promised and you came back." Maya pulled back to look at her daughter's face, at the joy and relief shining there. "And I always will, baby. No matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, I will always fight my way back to you." She slipped the ring back onto her own finger, then squeezed Sophia's hand in hers. That night, they baked the birthday cake together, and Maya told carefully edited stories about the desert and her team, about courage and duty and the promises that keep us strong. She didn't tell Sophia about the explosion, about the moment she'd nearly not made it home. Some stories were for later, when her daughter was older and could understand the weight of the choices her mother had made. For now, it was enough to be home, to be safe, to have kept the promise that mattered most.